Welcome to Primos for Life, the wrestling podcast made for the fans, by the fans. Como siempre, yo soy Eddie, el niño vaque. We got Ariel, the Ecuadorian dream bisueta, and we are your self-proclaimed, undisputed co-host tag team champions of the world. And in tonight's episode, we're chatting with Izzy Moreno. From Bayley superfan to Mission Pro Wrestling champion, she's proof that dreams can come true inside the squared circle. We get to hear about her journey in the indie scene and so much more. So, como siempre, sit back, grab a snack, and let's get it on! Hola, primo. What's up?
What's going on, man? Todo bien aquí, man. I'm good. I can't complain. Life is good on me. How about you, man? Everything all right? Good?
Yeah, bro. You know, like always excited to connect with you. Always excited to talk wrestling. And, you know, this is the part of the episode where I tell you, we got another special one, my man. What?
Nice. These are good. These special ones are great. You know, it helps, you know, because we do the recap shows, so it's also good to bring, and then we do the Lucha hot tags. So it's good to have the interview element there. So this is great, man. I love these, and I hope our fans are excited to hear who's coming on. So I will let you roll, man.
All right. So tonight's episode, right, we're joined by a wrestler whose story is all about turning passion into reality. Now, from being a fixture in the crowd to making a name for themselves in the ring, she's here to talk about the grind, the glory, and everything in between. Now, Primos, right? Please give now, please let's give a Primos for Life welcome to Izzy Moreno. What? There she is.
How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Well, how are you? How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm excited for this.
No, thank you for coming on.
Oh,
are you
yeah,
kidding
of
me?
course.
Like we are humbled to have you on. No, we truly are. Like we are.
Thank you.
Well, before we get started, please, if I may, love your setup. I see the Street Fighter 2 in the background. I see Mortal Kombat 2 in the background. I came up playing those games, so that was already. I could tell this is going to be absolutely fantastic.
Oh, I'm excited. I always get compliments on it, so it's a good icebreaker. But thank you.
Great conversation piece. It's fantastic. It works beautifully. I think you did a great job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, Izzy. Now, I also want to take this time to say this, right? It's been amazing to see you, you know, bro, from being a familiar face, you know, in the audience to like this respected competitor in the ring, man. I mean, watching you, like, you know, in the ring, going at it. Oh my gosh. And you're 18, right? And like, what?
Like, I know. It's so weird.
Truly,
I don't know how I got here.
Yeah, but you could tell that your dedication and love for the business is just so contagious. And, you know, we're excited to, you know, present you to the Primos, right? Because that's how what we call our listeners, the Primos.
No, I love it.
To get to know you better. We want to get to know you better, but the rest of our Primos want to get to know you better. So we're excited.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
I'm excited. Let's do it.
That's what we want to do. We want to make sure that the people who don't know wrestling or who are lately into wrestling or who love wrestling just can get more information about it and learn and see if it's for them. And so we're excited to do this. So before we start, I do want to take just a second and thank you for your time, because we understand that, you know, there's so many things you need to be doing with training and you know, I'm sure working on 20, 30 different aspects of your matches, your attire, your music, things like that. So to take the time to give us, because we know that there's not a lot in your schedule, knowing you have to train early tomorrow and everything, we humbly thank you and appreciate you for coming and giving us a moment of your time, because we know how busy you are. And we just truly, truly appreciate you.
Dude, I'm so excited that we got it locked down. So I'm like, seriously, thanks for having me. I'm so hyped.
Yes, let's go. Now, Izzy, before my Primo Ariel goes into the first staple question that we have lined up for every one of our guests, I have a side question.
Yes.
Izzy Moreno, right? Latina, right? 100%?
Yeah.
From where?
So I'm Colombian, even though you can't really tell, obviously.
Hey,
It's on my mom's side, and Moreno is my great grandmother's maiden name. So that's kind of where I got the name from.
Nice.
nice. Okay,
Yeah.
great, great. Well,
hmm
thank you for showing respect to our people
I
Yeah.
got you guys.
and giving, and doing that. I mean, that's awesome. Thank you so much, because we
Yes.
always say it here: representation matters, and
hmm
every step that we can take to move forward is fantastic. And
Preach.
someone
Yes.
like you who's doing it, especially at such a young age, is absolutely fantastic. To have the wherewithal
Thank
to do
you.
that is great. So
Thank
Yes.
you so
good
much.
looking, good looking. So, all right, let me start off by the staple question that we ask all of our guests,
hmm
whether it's a wrestler, or whether it's just a fan, or whomever
Yeah.
comes on. You're 18, so relatively young. What is your first core memory of seeing wrestling? Like, do you remember the match? Do you remember the pay-per-view? Do you remember the wrestlers? Because mine was, I remember just being, like 4 or 5 years old, and just sitting
hmm
in my grandfather's lap in the Bronx, and he was
hmm
watching Lucha Libre on Univision. And I just
Oh,
remember
that's
that,
dope.
He remembers
Yeah.
the Kane's
Debut.
debut in
Yeah.
WWE against The Undertaker. So do you remember exactly the first realization of wrestling for you?
It makes me sad that I don't remember the specific match,
Okay,
but I do remember like the moment where my parents turned it on.
great.
I'm pretty sure we were watching Raw because I remember it being very red, so it has to
That,
be Raw.
Yeah.
that's raw. Yeah,
Um,
that's raw.
and I remember like they just put it on, and I was like, "What is this?" I was 3 years old, and they were like, "This is wrestling. Like this is what Dad grew up on." And so I was like, "Oh, like this is really awesome." And so like they're kind of explaining it to me. They're
Yeah.
like, "Listen, like you can't do this at school. Like, what you see on TV is
Right.
strictly like in the confines of the TV." And so I always tell this story, and it makes it. I don't know, it makes me giggle all the time. But my first question when they turned it on was, why are the guys wrestling in their underwear? I don't know why. It just like struck me because
I mean, you're not wrong.
You're
You're
not
not
wrong.
it's a
wrong.
very valid
They
question.
could be doing this in attire, like full on
Exactly.
garb. So you're not
Yeah.
wrong, but kudos to you for thinking of that at such a young
Yeah,
age.
exactly. Yeah, no, it's a very valid question to be asking. And like, I grew up on like princesses, like before I got into wrestling, like princesses Disney. So like this was completely like 180 from what I usually would watch.
Mhm.
And so like no, I was so hooked right away. And then that slowly turned into us attending FCW events, which is
Mhm.
NXT before NXT.
Before it was
Yeah.
NXT, right?
Yeah. And so I just literally I was so hooked there, and I was just so into it, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is literally like I want to be a part of this somehow, obviously." And it's just like it's so funny to think back about those FCW days, and I saw so many wrestlers that like we see today that like
Yeah.
you really like seeing them at FCW and seeing them now, you're like, whoa. Like, I think one of like the prime examples for me was Charlotte Flair. Like, she would
Mm.
be walking around and like just saying hi to like all the kids and everything, and she wasn't wrestling. And then like now seeing her, I'm like, so weird. It's so
Now she's the
insane. But
queen.
yeah,
The
now
queen,
she's the
yeah,
queen. Like, I
yeah.
would have never expected her. But no, those are like my earliest memories of wrestling. And I get asked that a lot, and it makes me sad I don't have like the specific one, but like
Right.
that's like the
Well,
earliest memories I
well,
have.
that's then that's it. Then
That's
that's
it,
it.
yeah.
Then that's it. If that's the one you keep coming back to, then that's it.
That's it.
That's where we live. So
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. So now, Izzy. So I mean, obviously, the internet knows that you went from
Mhm.
being like a super fan at NXT
Yeah.
events to actually being in the ring yourself. So
Mhm.
when did you actually decide to take the leap into becoming a wrestler? Because like us as fans, right? We're also lifelong fans, but I don't
Mhm.
think I maybe we didn't have the resources. Maybe we were like, man, how do we do this? But I mean, fast forward 20 years later, because we're obviously way older than you, like now it's like you could just find a school online
Yes.
so yeah, walk us through that.
Yeah, I would say the most defining moment where I was like, I think I want to do this for the rest of my life was the Sasha moment when she took my headband. I think
Mhm.
like I already kind of had like small urges to want to become a wrestler like
Mhm.
around that time that NXT Takeover Respect took place.
Yeah.
But I think that specific moment, I think mostly because I saw like the emotions that both Sasha and Bayley drew out of not just me, but like out of the entire crowd.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what I want to do one day. And I think it's something that's so beautiful, and it's so I think every single wrestler is able to do that, like
Mhm.
bad or good, but like on the level that they did it, and I hope I reach a fraction of that one day. But like I like to think have done that sometimes in some of my matches, like taking my fans on an emotional roller coaster. That's really what Sasha and
Mm.
Bayley did for me, especially like from that time and before. Like I was always taken on an emotional roller coaster of wrestling, and I was like, I just want to recreate that somehow one day.
Wow.
And like I said, I like to think that I do.
Yeah.
I have a really loyal fan base, which I'm really lucky for and I'm grateful for. And like I know that's very hard to achieve, but I like one of my most recent matches, Eddie, you were there, was at
Hmm.
Shine. And
Yeah.
like that one, I was nervous for that match because just because the crowd, because the last Shine show, it was like it was Mother's Day, and I remember like the crowd, it was like kind of quiet. It was mostly because
Hmm.
it was Mother's Day. But then my first show at Shine, it was like popping, and I was like, man, I hope we are able to achieve that. And I just like I listened. I've been able to really listen to the crowd during my matches because now I'm a lot more relaxed during them. I think before
Yeah.
I was kind of like go 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 go. Now I'm like able to like hear it, and I even have like outer thoughts like, what am I gonna do after this? Like,
Right.
where do I want to get food after this show?
I'm
um,
hungry. What's dinner
yeah,
look like?
exactly. Yeah, what does dinner look like? But like the most recent Shine, I was like, I felt like that emotional roller coaster with the
Hmm.
fans, and it's something fun to do, and like it's one of the cooler parts about. And I hate using this term, but at the end of the day, this is a job.
Right.
Yeah.
Taking the fans on that roller coaster is kind of one of the coolest parts of my job
Right.
because I just like to perform, and so. I truly think that moment where Sasha took my headband, I bawled my eyes out. That was kind of like I think I like maybe destiny's kind of pushing me into this, and like
Yeah.
I should totally do this.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Like a few things, right? That recent
Mhm.
show, that was my wife's first, because you got to meet her too. That was her
Yes.
first independent wrestling,
Oh, it's
show ever,
amazing.
right? Like
Hmm.
she's gone to the WWEs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the one standout thing that she did on the ride home, after
Hmm.
we met with you and got shirts and took some pictures and stuff, she
Hmm.
was like, "Izzy is such a class act. She is so professional." And how old is she? Like, she was just asking questions, and I'm like,
Hmm.
"Oh, this is like a 1 or 2 year fan, and you've got her hooked." You know what I mean? And
Right.
Oh,
so
thank you.
so if she's asking questions, believe me, I'm sure everyone else in that day is asking questions about you, and
Absolutely.
and you
Yeah.
and you could see it. You could see it in the ring. Like
Hmm.
it blew my mind that you're only 18 years old, but you look like you've been doing it for years. Like it's
Right.
wild.
I feel like I've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So yeah, you're on your way for sure. For sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, Izzy, so being, I don't want to keep bringing up your age because
No, no,
everyone
you're
gets
fine.
that. But you graduated early to be able to
Hmm.
to chase your wrestling dream. So this is kind of a loaded question. It's kind of like
Yeah.
it's like a three-parter. So kind of
Shoot.
give us a little bit of the, if you may, of your wrestling journey,
Hmm.
and then like who helped you early on,
Hmm.
and up until this point, what is like the best piece of advice you've received, whether from that person or somebody else? And once
Like a
again, sorry
veteran
for
or
being a
something.
loaded
Yeah,
question,
no, I
but
love it. I
just
th- no, I like that question. I think throughout my I don't want to say career because I just
it's
reached a
just
2 year
it's the
anniversary.
start of a career.
But
We're starting
yeah,
a
let's
career,
yeah.
so let's
But even like
right.
through when I was because I started training when I was 10. And
Oof,
so
wow,
I actually had my first match when I was 10, even though like I consider it my first match, but that I don't. It's a
wow.
very weird relationship between me and that first match. And then I actually left wrestling for some time because of that match. And then I got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then
Mhm.
somehow I trickled into broadcasting. So it's very similar to you guys. Like I'd interview wrestlers, I'd like preview, I'd go to like media scrums and all that fun stuff.
Mm,
Then I like actually started to train to have my debut 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, and I've had several people along the way help me out. And it's kind of like I have this phrase where I'm like, people are here for a reason, a season, or for a lifetime. And like sometimes those people were here for a season, and like for that season, they really immensely helped me.
right,
But honestly, like the one that I like number one like person slash people I always think about are my parents, because they were kind of like the first people that I was like, hey, this is what I want to do. And like I know my parents, they don't have the credentials in this industry to like, be able to coach me. But like sometimes it honestly just fell back on my parents where I was like, hey, dad, I need you to record this promo of me and tell me what you think of it. Or hey,
right,
Yeah.
mom, like, what do you think of this outfit that I want to wear to the ring? Like, what are your thoughts on this? Like, honestly, it just came down to them. And like, truly, and I don't want to say, sorry guys, it's like loudly thundering. So if you guys hear the thunder,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
fine.
want you guys to think there's like
Yeah,
some crap
you're
going on.
fine.
You got some
Well, yeah,
media going on
I
there.
don't want
You're
like an
what?
intruder
Yeah.
in your house or something like that. Like, should I be calling the police right
No,
now?
I
She
swear it's
keeps
just
looking at the
thunder.
door. Like, I don't know what's happening.
Oh,
Not that you couldn't handle your own. I mean,
no.
obviously.
So I should let you guys know, like, there's thunder, and I'm like, I'm okay. I just like keep on looking at it.
Okay.
But no, I think like one of the best pieces of advice, and this is kind of recently too, that my dad told me was kind of two things: 10 yards at a time, and we're big football people, so for me it makes sense. But
Okay.
for
I like that.
non-football fans, 10 yards at a time means get like celebrate the small wins.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for
so
sure.
obviously in football, 10 yards is awesome.
First
You're
down.
getting closer to the end zone. Yeah, first
Yeah.
First
down.
down. Let's go. We
But
get
like
4 more now. Let's go.
exactly. So like having those little like 3 yard runs, those 4 yard runs, and then when you get that 8 yard run, it's really special. But when you get that first down, it's even better. And I think that's something have truly started to appreciate, especially recently. Because sometimes, unfortunately, opportunities fall through, and those opportunities you really bank on, and then when they fall through, you're like, "Oh my god, what do I do?" And then you take a step back and you start to appreciate the little wins and the small runs.
Right.
So I think that's something that's been really important for me. And then the other thing, kind of correlates with it, but be where your feet are. That's something I think I've been told like different ways from other people in this industry, but that one's really important for me because I'm always one that likes to look ahead, which is great. I
Yeah.
encourage people to do that, but especially when, you're in a situation where you're like, no, my feet are here and I need to only focus on where my feet are. I think those are kind of like the two things. And I've had other great pieces of advice, but I think right now, like those are the ones that are very applicable to me. So I would say those two ones I
I mean,
really appreciate.
very sound advice.
Yeah, really.
Yes.
Very sound.
So
advice.
wise. Look at that.
So absolutely.
Very well.
But I mean, the figures it's coming from your parents, right? So
Yes.
it's like they end up being the wisest people after being like, oh, you don't know anything, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, you got it.
They
All
do.
right. That's on me.
They always prove me wrong.
Well, that's what they'll do.
Yeah.
No, but speaking of like, 10 yards at a time, right?
Mhm.
Or first down in this case, one of your milestones at this point was winning the Mission Pro Cup, right? Now that's a
Yes.
huge early milestone in
Mhm.
your starting career. What did that victory mean to you? Walk us through that. And like, what does that mean, for the trajectory of your career? Like, did it open up doors to other promotions, other people, etc.? Please
Mhm.
walk us through that.
Yeah, that was that time with Mission Pro was a lot of fun, but it's also kind of weird, and I'll get into why it was. But I won the Mission Pro Cup, and I won it off of the only male in the all women's company, JP Harlow. So that was already very significant and
Yeah.
fun for me. And funny story is, that night that they had the show that I won the cup was also the night of my one and only prom. And so I knew I kind of had to miss my prom because I knew Mission Pro had big plans for me. Because once I won the cup, I knew the next show I was going to win the title.
Oof.
And so I was a little heartbroken, but I said to them, I was like, just make it a really like fun, like fit match. Like, and I said to them as like respectful, I was like, I just want it to be like really fun. That's all I asked. And they were like, listen, we got you. And so they made it into what we called a San Antonio Stampede match, which is basically a Texas death match. And that was really fun to plan it to challenge me and my opponent, JP Harlow, because at the time I was 17. Yeah, I was 17. And we were like, okay, who's going to want to watch this grown dude beat up a 17-year-old for like 20 minutes? Like, nobody's going to want to see that. So it was fun to like
Wow.
strategically plan it and like, okay, well, this makes
I
sense.
didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of that.
And it's so true. And like, especially I was like, I can't bleed because I'm like, nobody's going to like that on the internet. Like, we're
Yeah,
going to
no.
have an issue on our hands. So
Right.
we did it and it was beautiful and it was perfect. And then the next show, which was in June, I beat Tiffany Nieves to become the Mission Pro Wrestling champion and to also become the youngest champion in the
Yeah.
company's history, which that was very significant for me, mostly because I've always been criticized for being very young in this industry, especially when I had my first match at 10. I think that was the main issue that surrounded it was like, oh, she's too young. She shouldn't be doing this. And so that was just kind of like a really like just moral victory, I guess, and like
Yeah.
a little wink to like my past. And also what was cool was like when I won the title, I brought all the kids that were in attendance in the ring with me and we were like all jumping and like
Aw.
celebrating. And it was adorable. And so I was like, like years ago they ridiculed me for being in the ring and then now I have all these kids in the ring with me and it's like super special and awesome. But then going back to like where it was kind of weird, I did it like I found out like weeks later that Mission was gonna be going on a hiatus, like after I won the title. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, of course, my first title that I win and the company's going on hiatus. I was like,
Yeah.
the luck in me.
Wow.
And it was honestly, in hindsight, it allowed me to be comfortable being uncomfortable because I was always super like taken care of at Mission. Not that I'm not at other shows, but it kind of like pushed me to like kind of fly on my own. And also too, like the last match I had at Mission was against Thunder Rosa, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's a really like that's I honestly to this day it's I would say one of my best match personally. I think it is, and I'm super proud of that one.
Mhm.
And I look back on that match and I'm like, oh, I'm so proud of it. And then again, it's kind of like one of those like bringing emotions out of people, like that
Yeah.
emotional roller coaster.
Right.
Um, and Mission honestly did open up a lot of doors for me. I don't like there wasn't like a hey like oh this one company wants to like work with you because you have the title. I mean like they let me defend the title at like Ladies Night Out during
Mhm.
WrestleCade weekend, so that was like really awesome. But I think where it opened up doors, I think it was connecting with certain female wrestlers that I got to work with at Mission Pro. Like a lot of them I became super close with.
Nice.
And then also just like the fans too. Like one of them, very special in my life. Her name is Aiden, but her grandfather, he's a power lifter and he was planning on opening up a gym in San Antonio, Texas. So when
Mhm.
I was still living there, like he became my strength coach and like I have this super close relationship with him and he still trains me, like he'll send me my program and like so I can do it here in Florida. So like it honestly Mission opened up a lot of doors for me, not in the way that some people would expect, but in like other ways in other areas of my life that I'm
Yeah,
beyond grateful for.
for
Wow.
sure. Wow, that's a
Wow.
wow. That's a loaded answer.
I know you guys are gonna
Well,
be good
well,
questions.
no,
I love it.
no. It's I'd love the loaded answer. I'm truly just, and I say this, please,
Uh-huh.
with no disrespect. I am blown away by the maturity level that you
Thank
have,
you.
Mhm.
and the outlook that you are able to keep when you're dealing in a business that is male
Mhm,
dominated, that is
mhm.
dominated by older people, by other people. Like to be able to have the perspective you have and come in and do the way you have
Thank you
Yeah.
has
so
been
much.
absolutely fantastic, and that's kind of why I'm just like taken aback because to see it, and to know that it's someone so young but yet so smart and who can
Thank
read
you,
the
bro.
room. And
For
that's the thing
sure.
is, a lot of it is reading the room.
Mhm,
A lot is made about education and things like that. But to me, it's always like the first set of smarts is street smarts. You have to know where you
mhm.
are. You have to know who's around. Check your surroundings,
Yep,
because that's life saving skills.
it
So
Uh-huh.
is.
you seem like you have that, and your head screwed on completely right with everything else. So I
Thank
mean,
you.
so much so that you like hopped into the next question because I was going to ask about the win over
Okay, here we go.
Kevin. No. I was going to ask how you felt, but you already gave us that, so I'm skipping ahead because because obviously it meant a lot. Like you said, to have the children in the ring with you, I
Mhm,
I can't imagine what a moment like that must have felt like. So to
mhm.
me, I am. Uh, just blown away by that, and I'm glad you're able to experience something like that, and
For
that
Thank
sure.
you.
Yeah.
is making you hungrier and hungrier. And
Mhm,
I think that's what's great is that people realize, which is why Eddie and I always say we like to do this to the non wrestling people. Like it's dumb, and I always say before this is dumb. You're regular people. You have these moments where you have
mhm.
a win like within yourself, eliciting a response from a fan, from something
Yeah.
that's what you're looking for. So
Mhm.
it's great. But
Thank you.
stop blabbering, Ariel.
No, you're good.
You so you've been a part of WWE, the ID program,
Mhm.
right? Okay, so what was that experience like, and what are some of the lessons that you learned there outside of the ones we spoke about with your father before
Yeah.
that kind of are helping you, move forward in what you're doing?
Yeah, no, so I got the awesome opportunity to be a part of the WWE ID showcase that was happening in Las Vegas during WrestleMania week. That was a really fun time. Basically, the whole story with it is if I won my match, I'd be in the WWE ID Women's Championship tournament. Unfortunately, I lost. But that was just a really special moment for me. Just because of, like, just everything that happened, like, leading up to it, so it was funny because my WrestleMania weekend plans kinda, like, fell through in a way. I was still gonna be in Vegas, but it's just, like, a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do, like, kinda was, like, on the table, like, "Okay, maybe it's not gonna happen," and so I literally booked my flight, and the next day I got the call, and they were like, "Hey, would you be able to, be on the show? We have an open spot," and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I changed my flight. And it was so awesome because, like, I did this promo where I was like, "What if I'm in the tournament?" And then, like, they quote tweeted it and they were like, "You're in it." And so I did this little reaction video that was, like, very Taylor Swift-esque of me, of course. And I was like, I reacted and, like, the reaction on social media to that was really awesome. And then I actually had the match, and that was just so much fun. Just to be in that arena and then also just to be surrounded with the other ID talent was really special.
Yeah.
And this is something I always talk about, but I was super nervous for the show because it was like WWE oriented, and this was kind of like my first like
Yeah.
kind of like play
For
with WWE as
foray
in like
into, yeah.
yeah. And also, like, something I said in my reaction video, I was like, "I'm in a WWE match WrestleMania week," like that, I was like, "Oh god."
Wow, wow.
But I was obviously super nervous for the match, but I was also nervous because I was one of 2 talent that weren't ID'd, so I was like, "Okay, I really don't know what, like, it's gonna be like, if we're gonna be, like, totally, like, outcasted," but it was just so welcoming and truly, like, everybody in the ID like, program were absolutely incredible. I was just so in awe with them. I already like admired them already and like just loved them from the work that they do on the indies, but I think like I fell in love with even like more of them. And they were just so awesome and just like so fun to work with, especially my opponent Zara Zacher. Like I I wasn't super familiar with her before, we worked together, and then after that, I was like, "I'm her biggest fan, like,
Nice.
buy me 20 shirts, like, I love her." And just truly, it was just such an awesome night, so working with, like, the ID program has been fun, and then I did another show with them pretty recently in July, and it was, like, 15 minutes away from my house, and they were like, "Hey, would you like to do it? It's, like, real close to home," and I'm like, "Heck yeah," I'm like, "We'll do
Yeah.
it." And I faced Zeta Steele, and I know me and Zeta, we have our differences publicly, but Zeta's one that I absolutely adore, and I think she's so incredible, and, like, I freaking love her, and, like, anytime we get together to, like, plan a match, it's so seamless, and I'm like, I need to wrestle her, like, every match. But truly, it's been so much fun to work with everybody in that program, I'm really grateful.
Mhm.
I know a lot of people think I am in the program because I've wrestled
Yeah.
on their shows twice, but I'm not. But no, it's just been super fun to be able to do that. So like anytime that opportunity comes up, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, heck yeah, let's do it.
Right.
Yeah. I
Right.
mean, if my thing is this, right? The fact that you're not in the program, like officially, it's like I was screaming in my head when you said that because I was just like, if we don't get an Izzy Moreno and Bayley storyline
I
6 months from
know.
now, like, what are we doing? Like, WWE, what are we doing?
Yeah.
No, but that's oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Okay, so
Thank
yeah,
you.
so yeah, you mentioned other promotions like Shine,
Mhm.
right? Like the one that I attended.
Yes.
I also saw you at CCW too, which was awesome
Yes.
match there. So and so many other promotions that you mentioned. What's been your favorite crowd or like atmosphere so far? Like what stands out to you? When it came to going to those promotions.
Shoot, that's a really good question. I think one that always stood out. Oh well, Mission is was always a really good crowd. I think too, like my debut match, like they were hot for that, so that was a lot of fun, and that made it a lot more easier.
Nice.
And then I would say one. I'm trying to think of like crowds where I came out and I like wanted to cry. Um, I think because literally, like, I get like super. Because sometimes I'm like, okay, sometimes I have like what do they call it, imposter syndrome? And I'm like, okay, I don't
Yeah.
know if anybody's gonna like me. And then when I come out and they're like, yeah, and I'm like, oh snap, they like me.
Oh, cool.
Um,
Great. This is
yeah, no,
fantastic.
this is nice. Yeah, this is good. This is why I'm in this industry to feel liked. When I came out for my first WrestleCade 2 years ago, that crowd was really awesome. Trying to think what else. Shine took me aback the other day. I was pretty like, oh snap.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think. I just did Dreamwave. That crowd was fun. I'm, like, trying to think if I'm, like, missing any. No, but, like, usually okay, I'm gonna be honest, here's my little trick, and this is where it makes it a lot more easy. This is
Nice.
literally so before my shows and this is something I do this purely out of, like, the heart and love of it because it really does fill my heart, but before my shows, I go out and I give out my Izzy Moreno friendship bracelets, and so, business-wise, that's my way of kinda, like, hooking in, like, the fans. So, like,
Yeah.
if I'm making I do it before every single show I do, but specifically, like, the whole like idea with it was like if I'm at a promotion where I'm debuting at and they're unfamiliar with me, I'll go out, kind of like
Mhm.
introduce myself right
Right.
before the show starts. And then when I come out, hopefully I'll have some BFFs that are
Right.
nice and
Yeah.
loud and proud
I
for
mean,
me.
self promotion. It's what you need to
Exactly.
do. Yeah.
And it's worked. It truly has worked for me every single time, which is awesome. And I love it. There was one show I did pretty recently, and it was at a bar. And I'm gonna be honest, like it was really quiet. And I like something about wrestling in silence just like irks me. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I just
Yeah.
start like
Well, I
cringing.
mean,
And I,
Yeah.
that's kind of
Yeah.
like the opposite of what you're looking for. You're looking to
exactly.
elicit a response. So wrestling in silence
Mhm.
means no one's involved, and then you feel like you're not doing your job well. So you start to
Right.
Yes.
question stuff. Yeah, that's kind of
Exactly.
messing
It
your
gives it
mind.
just like, and it's happened to me plenty of times, honestly, no matter
Mhm.
how many friendship bracelets I give out. Um, but there was this one show I did, and there was like this small group of like little kids, and that's primarily like my demographic is kids.
Yep.
And so I went over to them like right before my match because I didn't have time to go out before the show. And I was like, "Hey, do you guys want to be my BFF?" And they're like, "Oh my God, yeah." And so I
Oh.
gave them, there was like maybe like 8 of them. So I gave them bracelets.
Yeah.
My match starts and they are hot, and they were able to kind of control like the entire bar, and it's not a giant bar, but it was
Right.
like a pretty like
Yeah.
intimate space. So that's like whenever I have those moments, I'm like we did it again. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm like, look at me and
Success.
my business strategies. No, but I think like honestly, anytime like I go out and I make my entrance, like that's always my favorite part of the night, just because it's so fulfilling and rewarding.
Mhm.
Obviously, going out beforehand and handing out the bracelets and everything, that's always super fulfilling,
Right.
especially like when I see the kids who are like a little bit shy and timid and they like see me like I'm like a Disney princess and I'm like walking through Magic Kingdom. Like that's the kind of vibe it gives off. And Dreamwave too, like there was I was like talking to this little girl, I was like, hi. And she started to like giggle, like I was like Mickey Mouse in the suit and
That's
everything.
awesome.
But
That's
no, I love it.
great.
It's like, and then also the cool part is like after, like if they're shy and timid at first, and then like after when they come up to me after my match and they're like so like energetic and like open, I'm like, okay, they're opening up to me. So it's
Yeah.
just honestly the best part about it all is the fans, and it's so much fun, and it makes my job and every part about this like 10 times better and so worth it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's got to be fulfilling to be able
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
to see that in a child's eyes, to see that
Oh,
in
it's
a child's
insanely fulfilling.
reaction, to do that. Like, I mean, you nailed it when you said, like, that I went to them at the bar because everyone at that bar, once you feel the child's energy, once you feel those kids, you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm going to
Yes.
back this. I'm not going to sit there and let a child,
Yeah,
like,
no,
yeah, I'm
yeah.
in. Like, of course. And to show them that, that's great. That's
Mhm.
fantastic.
Yes.
That's
Oh, so cool.
that's it, man. That's absolutely wonderful. So okay. So you're talking. Oh, first of all, a question because Eddie went to a show you were at. Now, Eddie,
Mhm.
do you have a bracelet?
Did
No,
I
I was
give
about to ask for
Oh,
one.
did I not give you one? Oh, I messed up.
Oh,
Oh, no.
It's all good
I'm
though. We
I'm
got a
very
couple of Izzy
selective
shirts.
sometimes, but y'all
Izzy,
got
I might have to end the interview right now because there's no bracelet currently on Eddie's wrist. This
I'm gonna
is
next time I see you, I will get one for your wife, for
Yes.
Ariel, like, I'll give it for the whole crew.
Thank
Let's
you.
go.
And then after me being an idiot and asking that question, so you spoke about the young fans
Mhm,
that are there. So being that you're young as well, I mean, how do you handle? Um, I don't know if pressure is the right word. How do you
mhm,
handle like just what's thrust upon you at such a young age because
mhm.
you are considered a role model to these young kids? Because once
Thank
you're in a
you.
position like this, unfortunately, fair or unfair, you are put into a position where people will start to look
Mhm.
up to you.
Yeah.
So how at such a young age are you dealing with this? Do you deal with it? Has it at any point been too much for you? Not to where you've broken, but where you've been like, oh wait, I gotta like take a thought back, and this is a lot of stuff on what I'm about to do.
Mhm.
Like, how is that going, if I may ask?
Yeah, I think I always have, and it's funny, I somebody just asked me that too recently, and they were like, like, "Since you're known as the Bailey girl, like, do you think there's a lot of pressure on you?" And I was like, "Yes." I was like, short answer, yes. And I think, the whole phrase, pressure is good, like, it makes diamonds, this and that, and I'm
Right.
a firm believer in that. Um, I just think, like, the biggest part for me with the pressure is I think because so many people have, like, watched me grow up and, like, who I am today. Like, it's just kind of, I think like one of like the moments in my life where I always felt there was a lot of pressure on me was my debut. I think because I've literally been hyping this up for like a very long time. And like, not that I was hyping myself up, but I was like, this is my debut. It's happening like 8 years in the making. Like, literally, I was kind of marketing it around like, this is 8 years in the making for me. And like, this is the start. Like, it's not gonna be like when I was 10 years old where I had a match and it was a one and done. Like, this is
Hmm.
it. After this, I'm taking bookings and I'm gonna be in a city near you.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think like that, I was like, I knew I was good and I knew, and when I say that, I don't mean that in a rude way, but like I knew my abilities. I trusted the coaching that I was getting at the time. And I trusted my preparation too. But I was like, "What if I, like, poop the bed?" I was like, God forbid, I was like, and this is gonna be really bad because once you, like, make an impression, like, you can't go back, and so, luckily, that did not happen, and my debut match, I haven't watched it in a hot minute. I don't think I can, but, like, I look back and I'm like, I'm so proud of it because there was just so much riding on that. Not like,
Yeah.
oh, I'd get a promotion if I had a good match, but like I just think like mentally too, there was so much riding on it. I moved to Texas for like the entire summer to like prepare for it.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously there was like a lot of people watching it in a way, like that were tuned in. And so that I was like, "Oh God," but it was one of those moments that I was, like, so proud of and, like, insanely excited about. And I would say maybe another thing would be the Vegas ID show, I think too, just because I was under 18 at the time, so it was in April of this year, so right before I turned 18 in May. I was 17 and I was, like I said, one of 2 people that weren't ID, and it was just kinda like a, "We're gonna throw you into the deep end of the
Yeah.
pool," and, like, it
Learn to
was a
swim.
yeah, and it was just like it was awesome, man, and it was just like that's one that I'm very proud of and, like, just everything, and I think too that entire week, it was just kinda like that adrenaline and, like, a whole week that I'm like, "I can't believe I did it." Because honestly, like, up until then, I don't think I've had that many matches in a week. I had 3, which I know isn't many compared to others, but for me, I was like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be so much fun," and, like,
Yeah.
I'm wrestling at the ID show. The next day I have WrestleCon, so I'm gonna be signing all day. Then the following day I have 2 back-to-back matches, and then next day, like, I don't have anything going on, but I have, like, a lot of, like, media things I gotta get done, so, like, it was just, like, a whirlwind, but, like, so much fun. But yeah, that pressure does come in. I think right now, um, I would say, right before I turned 18, I think the pressure was to sign somewhere, honestly, and, like,
Uh-huh.
I think one of the biggest pressures is, like, everybody expects me to go to WWE, and, like, that's something I've kind of had to, like, shift my thinking about because 'cause I'm like honestly, like, I was like, "I'm gonna get signed at 18," like, I realized not how unrealistic it is, but, like, how that could take time.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's something and I mean that in, like, the best way because I truly do think amazing things take a great amount of time, and that's kinda
Absolutely.
something that does.
Right.
So I think when I had that moment of like, okay, this might not happen at 18. I think one, I was heartbroken, but then two, I was like, oh God, like I just told everybody I want to get signed at 18 and like that pressure was on. But I was like, no, I was like, nobody's banking on it. Nobody's like, man, Izzy
Right.
Moreno's not signed. What the heck is going on? I was just kind of like, this is my moment to have fun. Now I've honestly have never been booked this much ever in the 2 years, not that that's many years, but the 2 years I've been taking bookings, which is something I'm super excited about. You know, now that I'm 18, I can travel by myself, which has been fun. I've got to experience like going to another state without like a parent waiting for me, which is
Mm.
odd. And so it's just like fun. I get to go to like new places, places I've never been before,
Nice.
and just get to work with like many people I've always wanted to work with. So, you know, that pressure will always be there because I'm that type of person. But as long as I don't let it get to me too much, which honestly I do, and I have a good support system behind me. But
Yeah.
you know, it'll always be there.
I mean, it sounds like you have a great support system behind you because once again,
Yes.
the clarity and the soundness in your answers are fantastic.
Yeah.
So it
Thank
sounds
you.
like, yeah, once again, just the maturity level is fantastic.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, and you know something, and to be honest with you, Izzy, you're doing it the right way, in my opinion,
Mhm,
right? Because we actually had another guest a few episodes back. You know, Angel Medina. He used to be back
mhm,
in ECW, back in the Attitude Era, that time frame.
mhm,
And one thing that he said to us in one of our conversations was not to knock the PC, right? Because the PC is a
mhm,
fantastic thing, but he did say that independent wrestlers get to learn so many different styles and have to learn how to work on their feet like that. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
unfortunately, sometimes the PC could be a little too copy and paste. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and you could kind of see that in Evolve and NXT sometimes, especially when they're
Very
green.
formulaic. It can get
Right.
very formulaic.
Mhm.
Exactly. But the fact that you're going from promotion to promotion, getting booked here, going to Texas, going here, everywhere,
Mhm.
it's like you're going to be exposed to so much and so many different styles that by the time you do sign to like an AEW or WWE or TNA or
Mhm.
wherever, it's going to be like, you know, you're going to stand out even more because you're going to be like, everybody's going to be like, whoa, where's this girl been? But
Yeah.
they'll know,
They'll
you know what I
know.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's my goal, but no, I've been having so much fun with it. I think too I had it was kind of like it was my first like booking after like maybe a couple weeks off.
Mhm.
Not too I wouldn't call it a break. It really wasn't a break, but it was my first booking without like traveling completely by myself. And I was planning on flying to New York like right after the booking to go see some family. And so I was super excited. I was like, all right, I was like, this is the start of a new season. Like
Mhm.
I said, I'm very sports oriented. So I was like, new season. I was like, here we go. And I was nervous, but like I went in with zero expectations. And honestly, it was like my probably one of my favorite shows I've ever got to do. And it was my first steel cage match, ironically. And, like, it
Wow.
was so much freaking fun. I had fun, like, from the start of the day at, like, 3 in the morning when I woke up to go to the airport till, like, 2 in the morning when I got back to my hotel, and it was just so much fun, and, like, it was cool because, like, I got flown out to it was Pittsburgh, and so, like, just to see, like, just everything there was gorgeous, and then the next day I flew out first off, I had a really awesome match, it was so much fun, and then
Nice.
the following day I flew out to see some family, and I spent a whole week in New York, and that was just so nice because honestly, I never take a vacation. All my trips are strictly wrestling, so it was just, like, cool to have
Oh,
that, and so,
nice.
like, that's, like, the cool part now about, like especially for me being in the independent scene, like, yeah, the goal is to always get signed, but I'm like, this is where I truly get to
Yeah.
have fun. I'm in college, so, like, thank God for that, and then I just, like, I get paid to go out and do what I love to do, and so it's just, like, it's so much fun, and so, like, I get to travel. I'm going to Massachusetts for the first time this weekend, which I've never been to, so it's
Nice.
just a lot of fun, and, like, also just food for thought is, like, I wanna do a Europe tour next year, and so, like,
Wow.
I'm, like, 19 in the UK by myself, I'm like, "That's gonna be insane if that could happen," and
Yeah.
so that's the beautiful part about the indies. I know sometimes it's not as beautiful and luxurious, and it's, like, it can be a pain in the butt sometimes, but it's at the end of the day, if you pull out the positives, it's pretty cool.
Wow, what a mentality and what a point of view is
I
it? That's
try, guys.
wow. Okay, so
I'm
now
not like this all the time.
no, but it's so refreshing. Like Ariel said, it's like
Mhm.
you are so polished and you are so professional. It's like it's just a matter of time. But enjoy the journey. Most importantly, enjoy
Yes.
the
Yeah.
journey. We
Please.
definitely have a few more
Please.
questions because we
Oh,
definitely
yeah,
want to
let's go.
respect your time.
Do we want to?
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure, because we know you have to train early tomorrow. So I wanted to know, fast forwarding a little, right? Like, what
Mhm.
do you want your legacy to be in
A
wrestling?
little, fast forwarding a lot.
Yeah, a
Lot.
lot.
You're gonna
Yeah.
be in the industry for years. So fast
Yeah.
forwarding a lot.
Well, what I mean by a little is like she's gonna get there sooner rather than later, is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
But
Well,
what would you want your legacy in wrestling to be, like 10 years from now? Like, what would you want to have accomplished by that point?
Oh, man. That's hard to determine because I think and this is being wiser than I was a couple months ago when I turned 18, May
mm,
1st, like, at midnight. I It's very hard to tell because a lot of things have changed for me personally, and I'm just kinda like in my life, I'm like, I have different goals that are kinda like outside of wrestling, and like right now for me, that's college. And so my goal by the time I'm 20, I want to have my bachelor's degree in communications, and that's something that's like
well,
very important for me.
well,
And so not pro wrestling will never take a back seat, but like that I really want to focus on.
mm,
Um but it like I going back to getting signed, like I've kind of hit where I'm like, maybe it might happen, it might not happen, and like you kind of have to be okay with that. It's very
well,
weird, and it's like it's such a strange feeling, and like obviously the goal will forever to get signed and to get seen and to be on TV. But if that doesn't happen, like I think I would have enough acceptance with it in a way.
mm,
I think the biggest thing if I ever would to leave this industry, like way down the line. I think too, just kind of be like to inspire the next generation. And I know people say that all the time, but I think for me specifically, especially with the journey that I've had in wrestling,
Right.
I
Right.
really want to show people that are younger than me that it's okay to be in this industry at such a young age, because God knows I needed somebody like that to tell me that years and years
Yep.
ago. And so I like hope to, like, especially a female that would be entering this industry my age. Like, I would love to find somebody like that and to like literally just help them every step of the way, because I've had so many people like that in my life that have helped me, but I don't think they've kind of been in the shoes that I've been in. And like, there are sometimes it has felt so isolating, and you're like, I have no idea what to do. And like, I
Right.
have my parents, but they're not, they're not the wrestlers. And like, I have my friends who are wrestlers, but like, they can't really relate in a way. So I hope that I can maybe be that kind of guiding light for somebody, um, in the future. And I'm not really big on like, I want to leave this in my legacy, but I would say maybe that, like, I
Yeah.
just like, and I
You want to
really
leave it.
just,
You want to leave it better than you found it.
yeah, that
Yeah.
exactly. If I can, and it's a very hard thing to do in this industry, to leave it better than how you found it. That's very, very hard, and I've learned that very quickly. But no, I hope maybe one day, like, the opportunities for women are a little bit better.
Yep.
There isn't such a stereotype when it comes to women in this industry, especially confident young women. I hope that stereotype changes, and I know I'm asking for a lot here,
No,
but that's
No,
no,
you're
something I
not.
you're not.
really,
You're
I
That's the
know,
thing is
I
you're
know.
not asking for a lot.
I'm
That's the
No.
thing.
I'm not, but it's gonna take a while to change
But
that. But
that's you're 100% correct
that's
about.
yeah.
It's going to take time, but
I think maybe that would be kind of like the biggest thing. But no, I just like,
that's dope.
if I can inspire the next generation, like,
That's
hell
dope.
yeah. Like, that fulfills my heart. I think too, I get that a lot, where it's kind of like, hey, like, I get a lot of like dads and daughters that come to me and they're like, hey, like, I showed my daughter you in on NXT when you were little, and now she's watching wrestling with me. Like, that's a really
Amazing.
cool feeling for me, because that's kind of how I am with my dad. And I get messages too, like, "Hey, I'm looking to get into wrestling, like, start training, like, what's your best advice?" And I'm like feverishly like typing them, like, "Okay, here's what you're gonna do." So that's always, I think that's kind of the most rewarding. And I guess if I left tomorrow, I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm proud I did
You
that."
are. Great.
Wow. Izzy,
And
you
I'd be playing Frank Sinatra my way, and it would be like so cathartic and
See,
like,
see that's the New York family in you.
yes,
That's
yeah.
that's, my
not the
parents are from New York, so
that's
that's why.
Let's
That's the New York.
go.
So
Listen,
I bleed Frank Sinatra music.
whenever you're back in New York, I bartended at a steakhouse in Manhattan. Come
What?
through.
Okay, I'm there. I am freaking there.
You reach out to me, hit me on
Okay.
Instagram, whatever. Because we're swapping information after this.
Yes.
So you
Yeah.
let me know whenever
Oh
you're
my
in New York.
God.
You want a good steak dinner? Eddie's been there. The food is fantastic. I've been there for years.
Yes.
Please come on in, please, please.
Okay, I'm planning. I know I'm gonna be there. It hasn't been announced yet, but it's fine. I'm gonna be at the big event, November 15th, and I'm trying to go to the city, and so I might need a
Let me know.
place
Let
Yeah.
me
to
know.
get
Do it.
dinner.
Let me know. Absolutely.
Okay,
You
cool.
you let me know when you're coming in. I can get a table for
Hell
you.
yeah.
Maybe seat at the bar. I'll figure something out. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah.
Come
I'm
in, you let me know.
hyped. Ariel, you're the man.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to go, Izzy, one more question because, like I said, we know
Yes.
you're tight on time. And I feel like I kind of know the answer just based on seeing you come up and what you have. It's once again one of the staples. We kind of have a staple sandwich here.
Exciting.
So, who is your ideal match, moment, so ideal match, ideal location, like pay-per-view,
Mhm.
and who is it against? Like
Yeah,
is
dream
it
match.
I know.
celebrity dream match, right?
I know everybody wants to see it. I'm gonna give what the fans want.
Because
Obviously,
that's what I'm saying.
Bayley.
That's what I was saying. Like I
Obviously,
feel like I know.
I I had this conversation the other day with somebody, and they were saying that they can totally see Bayley doing like an indie run sometime soon.
Yeah.
And they were like, you know what that would mean for you? And I was like, don't even put that idea in my head, because I would literally be like hitting up every promotion, whether I worked with them or haven't worked with them, and be like, how can we make this happen? Like, I would become like psychotic with like trying to make that match happen. And like, I've always been super big on like not separating us, but like trying to pave my own path. And I know that I say that and people are like, okay, you literally dress like her. It's the vibes that we bring to the function, everybody. It's like that match. I truly think like if I had that match like next month, I think like the day after I can be like, okay, I'm done. Like
I'm good.
we've hit the pinnacle. Like we've done it,
Oh,
everybody. Because truly that match is kind of like the, oh my God, this is full circle. Like this is what everything was kind of for. And I know that
Right.
sounds weird, but like truly like that match would be so gorgeous. And I can't even like imagine what would happen in that match and how it would
Yeah.
look. And like it's fun. You know, it's so funny. I think that it was the last time I saw her. I want to say it was years and years ago at the
Mhm.
Performance Center. I was going for NXT, and I see this car like whiz past me and my family while we're online, and my dad's like, "That's Pam," and I was like, "No," and so I see the car stop, and it like puts it into park and she gets out and I was like I was like hey, and I gave her a big hug and so we're just talking. So I think my dad was just, we're just kind of like shooting stuff. And so, my dad was like, the buildup is going to be crazy for that
Yeah.
match, like we have so much footage. And she was like, yeah,
Mhm.
we do. And so like we kind of like squared up with each other, and I thought it was so funny because I'm like, I literally see like the WrestleMania like
The
Yeah.
promo
match
shot.
card,
The
yeah, the
promo
promo
shot.
shot. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa. I was like, I'm seeing myself in the future. I was like, what is this?
I mean, being that it's you and
That's the
Bailey,
match.
any chance being that it's you and Bailey, we can make that a street fight and really just go all over the place and go
I'm not opposed
completely
to
out
that.
of the realm of possibility. Like here come
If
these
we
two.
can get like a 2 out of 3 series
Oh
going, so we
man, that
get
would be
like
great.
Oh,
all
that's
the
so
matches.
good.
That would be
So
dope.
like we get like a classic match, a street fight, and I don't know what's like a
An Iron
crazy
Man match.
An
Do
like an
the
Iron Man
Iron
match.
Woman match.
Yes.
The Iron
Yes.
Woman match. There you go. Do the Iron Woman
Maybe
match.
we can get a kid. We can get like a kid that kind of looks like me in front row, and maybe like she can steal the headband or something.
So there
She
we
can steal the
go.
friendship bracelet. Boom! It's like
Oh, you
it's
already
the
know.
story. Yeah.
You already know.
Have her take Eddie's bracelet.
Yes, there we go. Yep. Perfect. Eddie, you're gonna fill the role for Izzy
Hey.
Moreno.
Hey, I'm all for it. Okay, but wait, there is a part 2 to that question, Izzy, because
Yes.
technically Bayley is an active wrestler. Is
Mhm.
there a legend that you would want to have an all-time match with?
I've never been super big on dream matches because I'm a very realistic person. Because
Right.
so I'm like,
Pragmatic.
if I say like Lita, I'm like, I know that's
Yeah.
never gonna
Yeah,
happen,
but I mean, hey.
it's a dream. One person, and this is somebody I'd always add into like my Mount Rushmore is Alundra Blaze. She's somebody, and I kind of formed a little like online relationship with her, and like she's just somebody like I absolutely adore, and I think she's so awesome, and like I would love to take an Alundra Blaze German suplex because that's like also pinnacle for me in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I would say that Alundra Blaze.
Oh my God, Izzy! Like these responses. Okay,
Bring Medusa back. Bring Medusa back.
we're gonna bring this home, and because again, we want to definitely take your time into consideration. Izzy, thank you so
Thank you.
much for taking the time on 2 unknown Latinos trying to make
stop.
this thing happen. And
Couple of schlubs.
yeah, we have had some awesome conversations, but this by far has become our favorite. You are
Oh, thank
a
you.
truly
This is
a
great.
class act, well spoken. You
Thank
could
you,
tell that
guys.
you have a mind for the business already, and
I
you're
tried.
just it's to the moon and back. I mean, Izzy,
Yeah.
you're
Thank
gonna.
you.
I'm telling you, if you're not there, I mean, you say you're okay with it, but I'm saying, as a primo, I'm gonna be like, if you're not at WrestleMania within the
Right.
next year or so, and
There's
this
a problem.
Bayley story doesn't happen, oh my
Problem.
gosh, like, come on, what are we
I mean,
doing?
We gotta make it happen for you guys.
I mean, for the world. It's
For the
Oh,
world.
for the world, for all
for
of
the world.
wrestling.
But I do want to piggyback what I said, and I want to say this from the bottom. We say what we say without trying to make be condescending or anything like that, because it's through no disrespect, because we are just truly impressed by the
Thank
your
you.
maturity level. Like, so I don't want to. We keep going back to that. I don't want to feel
No.
like it's a shot.
I appreciate it. It makes me feel good at the end of this.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. So once again, we would like to wholeheartedly thank you for your time. Thank you for
Thank you, guys.
your honesty. Thank you for, like you said, taking a shot on sitting here for an hour with a couple of guys who just like to talk wrestling and watch wrestling.
Hell yeah.
And whenever you have extra friendship bracelets, you let us know. When
I will send them.
When you're in the city, you let me know. So what we normally like to do at this moment in time is give you the forum to let all of our listeners know how they can reach you, contact you, find you, see you,
Yes.
Instagram, Facebook, anything, please, the floor is yours. Plug away. Thank you again, Izzy Moreno.
Yes, thank you guys for having me. This was a lot of fun. You can find me on Instagram and X. Both handles are it's Izzy Mania, ITSIZZYMANIA. And you can also like keep up where if I might be coming to a city near you and then any other future projects that are in the works. But seriously, guys, like thank you so much for having me. This was a blast. Truly had so much fun talking to you guys and like thank you for being so kind and just having me on. Like legit, this was so much fun.
Thank you for coming. You're about to get some follow requests on all
Oh,
platforms.
hell yeah.
On
I'll
all
be on the
platforms.
lookout.
Yeah, Izzy, thank you again. I can't wait to see you hopefully soon somewhere in the Florida area because I've been going to a lot of local shows. Hopefully,
Yes.
maybe I'll see you at the NWA taping on September 5th. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, I think I'm gonna be a PA, so I won't be able to make it to that one. I would love to like somehow get in contact with them, but no, I should be doing a couple like Florida ones soon.
Okay, cool. So I'll be on the lookout on the IG
Yes.
and I'll definitely make an appearance to get my bracelet because and
Yes.
Ariel's bracelet because he
I
won't.
got you guys.
Once
No,
we're
no,
done, he's gonna be like, "Hey, you better go get that
when,
bracelet."
no. When she comes to New York,
When I
I'm
come to
assuming
New York.
I'm getting my bracelet at the
Okay,
restaurant.
fair enough, fair
I'm
enough.
assuming, and
Yes.
if I'm wrong in that assumption, now I'm just kind of putting a bug in your ear about it.
No, I love it. You guys are getting those bracelets.
Yes. All right, Izzy. Well, again, muchas
Thank you.
gracias. We
Thank you, guys.
appreciate you.
Thank you for the representation in this
Yes.
industry where sometimes it doesn't happen a lot. I want to piggyback because ultimately, you know, the Primos for Life thing is that, you know, we want to not just highlight wrestling, but especially highlight the Latinos in wrestling and Hispanics in wrestling.
Yes.
And that's part of the lineage that is you and the person you are. And we want to thank you for, once again, the name Moreno, bringing that out and then showing everybody and giving us the representation that, you know, not only young female wrestlers and male wrestlers who are following, you know, but Latinos and Latinas who, you know, now, you know, feel stronger about it and everything like that. So once again,
Absolutely.
we appreciate the representation that you do for our people and our culture because that does mean a lot going forward. And
Thank
once
you.
again, just appreciate your time and all your honesty. And if you'd ever like to come back to discuss
Yes.
a
Love to,
pay-per-view,
yes.
to watch us, to discuss a show, to just chat again, please let us know. Like I said, we'll
Cool.
pop information and we'd love to have you back because this has been an absolute blast. You're a doll.
Yes.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you guys. I appreciate
Yeah.
it. Keep in contact and I can't wait to watch the episode.
I'll
Yes,
see you at the
absolutely.
restaurant.
Yes. Thank you guys.
Yeah, take
Have a
care,
good
Izzy.
one.
You
Bye.
too, Izzy. Gracias.
Bye. Oh my goodness, bro. I mean, I said it over and over
Wow.
again. She's a
Wow.
class act, bro. She's like a classic, dude. She is so well spoken. She has the mind
What
of like for
a-
wrestling. Like, oh my gosh, how impressive is she?
I hate what I'm about to say, but she is an old soul.
Yeah.
You know, she's
Yeah.
got it. She's been there before. And she knows. And it's like I said before, it's like the street smarts. So getting in, reading the room, knowing what you're doing. She's done that. And her parents helped to do
Yeah.
that. You know, they taught her that. So that's great. No, man, she's fantastic. She's great. Great on the shoulders. I mean, I see nothing but really good things in her future. And you know, hopefully down the line, this is something that we could be like, yo, man, we had her before
Yeah.
she was the next, you know, the big thing that she's gonna be, because I mean, just given all of the intelligence level and the way she can read a match, the way she can, you know, work. And like she said, you know, she did podcasting and things like that. She's worked behind the scenes things, so she's already got a smart head on her. So this is truly a trajectory moving forward for her, and awesome. And I'm glad we got her when we did. She is fantastic. Izzy, once again, thank you, girl. You
Yeah.
are just kudos.
Yeah. And then my final thoughts on that is, man, I'll say it again. I'm going to get a Izzy Class Act shirt because she
Okay.
is like you said, an old soul, and no disrespect or anything like that, but it's just more so of like how impressive she really is. And you know what? Shout outs to mom and dad on that one, because you know what I mean? Support is
Absolutely.
everything. And you know, you could tell,
And she gave them
especially,
props.
yeah,
She was like, no, it's mom and dad. Dad gave me the best info. Like, great.
Yeah.
Respect the shit out of that. That's right.
yeah, for sure. And then, you know, now that we know that, you know, she's Colombiana, it makes sense because that's that family that is still there. And it's like,
I'd got it smacked into me. I know you did.
yeah, for sure. Oh man, bueno primo. Oh, What you got for me, man? Like any final thoughts?
No, man. Just want to thank everybody for, being on the journey with us as always. We appreciate it. Smash the like and the follow button on all platforms, primosforlife.com. Thank you to Izzy Moreno de nuevo, man. I mean,
Yeah.
what a great interview. What a great time. We hope you guys appreciate listening to this and have as much fun listening to it as we did making it, because it was truly a great time. And Izzy, you are welcome back whenever you want. We'll be, look at her handles, follow her, guys, please. And thank you, as well as ours. Share, like, smash. We appreciate and love you guys. We couldn't do this without you. Muchísimas gracias. With that being said, Eddie, I hate to take the line from you, but
It's all good, man.
we've got long enough. We will see you when we see you, people. Gracias.
Yeah, we will see you when we see you. Take care, everybody.
Ciao.